Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man wala. My dear brothers and sisters, we continue with Nida'atul Iman. Those ayat started with Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu. We have today the verse 183 from Surah Al-Baqarah, and that the common recited verses, as you know, about Siyam. يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون. Or you have believed, decreed upon you is fasting as it was decreed upon those before you, that you may become righteous. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned one of the actions that might be hard. Sometimes we meet with non-Muslims, and some of them somehow they are familiar with us, like we are having a month of fasting. But the surprising point that all of the time with no water, they could understand that stay with no food, with no water, nothing. They think it's hard. They think it's impossible. And when we look at the things from outside, yes, you think it's impossible. What's motivates you to do so? Because the commanders of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And no doubt there is reason behind this. Always do not look at the command. Look at the commander. Ask who is the commander. When you know who is the commander and he's the one who has the ultimate wisdom, that time you realize that for you. Following that will be for you. That's why we as Muslims realize the benefit of that. One of the benefits Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. Perhaps you attain piety and you reach that level of taqwa. But that's not limited to this. There are many reasons, behind that the fasting. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will highlight on one of the goals and most important means, or sometimes the goal that people, they don't even focus much about it. But as a good result, that to increase your taqwa, that's just a beautiful thing. Sometimes my students ask me how I would answer those non-Muslims when they ask me about, fasting. So I made a very simple answer for them. So we tell them that we are fasting to fast. Oh, is that puzzle? We are fasting to fast. F-A-S-T. Bear with me. This is in a word, like each letter means something. F stands for faith. A for attitude. S self-control. 3 tranquility. I'll let you know, explore this. So we are fasting to fast to increase our faith. And that's really test for your faith. Because you could, pretend that you are fasting and you go to your fridge and eat whatever you want. What's prevent you not doing so? That knowing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is watching you. And that will increase your faith, your relation between you and Him. Isn't that beautiful? And A stands for attitude. You have a sympathy and empathy and develop good attitude to be thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when you realize that how it's all of that blessing that He bestowed upon you. And that will develop you having bad akhlaq. Even we're told if somebody cursed you during the fasting, said, I'm fasting. I don't want to, revenge. I don't want to reply on you. You learn discipline, and that's really important. S stands for self-control. Most of the problems nowadays, why people fall in a trap and doing all of this wrong, because they lack of self-control. They have self-control. That's really important because that will give you discipline. Whatever they think that right or wrong, they will do for it. Whatever they desire, they would go for it. Subhanallah. There is one time a person want to buy something, and Sayyidina Umar is asking, why you want to buy it? He said, because اشتهيته. He said, هل كل ما تشتهي تشتري? Like, I really have desire to it. So every time you have desire something, you're going to buy it and take it? No. You have to have discipline. You have to have a control. Fasting will make you that. And you have a control yourself from what is halal. You stay away from the halal, not from the haram. So now after fasting, you are more capable to stay away from what is haram. So you gain yourself by gaining the control. Last one, tranquility. Wallahi, you feel peace in heart. You feel, sakina. You feel taqwa. You feel it. The spirit of Ramadan is not like any other act. That's what you gain from Ramadan. And that, simple answer, but that's not all of it. Just some of the answer, that's something you can share with others. So we are fasting to fast. If it stands for faith. A, attitude. S, self-control. T, tranquility. May Allah grant all of that for all of us. And my advice to myself and you, my dear brothers and sisters, always ask yourself, what's the wisdom behind that action? When you know the hikmah, the wisdom behind it, that will motivate you. Try to target and to gain, that wisdom and achieve it. And at the same time, that you work for purpose. Because we want to live for purpose. As Muslims, we are not disconnecting the action for the meaning. Every action, every act of worship has meaning. And we want to look at the meaning and fulfill it. So look at the maqasid, the point behind all of these actions. And in the Quran, there's ta'aleel. There's more than 1,000 ta'aleel explanation. There's more than 1,000 reasons. Why is that? That a message from the Quran that you have to reflect and think and ask yourself why you're doing what you are doing. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us among those that have the best of understanding and they come forward to apply the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. اللهم اجعلنا من يستمعون القول فيتبعون احسنه اولئك الذين هداهم الله واولئك هم الالباب واولئك هم اولو الالباب امين. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك اشهد ان لا اله الا انت استغفرك واتوب اليك.